This is Fieldsports Channel News. A Welsh farmer has taken to social media to share the aftermath of a raven attacking his sheep.
We as farmers can do nothing to stop them. There's nothing we can do. They're a protected species for whatever reason, okay? They've got the same protection as birds of prey.
Eddie Field has a farm on the Pembrokeshire border. He says the birds regularly attack his flock. In the latest incident, he saw a large corvid pecking out a ew's eye, but couldn't do anything to help, as the raven is a protected species. He is frustrated as he can't protect his sheep from the attacks.
I mean, that's a 4.5-inch beak. It's just a massive issue, and it's cruel. Ravens are cruel.
Hunt supporters across the country have rolled up their sleeves and joined the Countryside Alliance's Countryside Cleanup. Groups and individuals from hunts united to collect litter. Hunt officials, hunt staff, farmers and other supporters from the hunting and rural communities were out in force, clearing rubbish from roadside verges, footpaths, riverbanks, fields and hedgerows. They found glass bottles, fast food packaging, food wrappers and tin cans.
By being out in force and joining with neighbourhood groups and parish councils, the hunting community has yet again reconfirmed that how important a role they play in local communities.
A hot round is leading to a product recall of a rifle. The UK Government's Office for Product Safety and Standards issued an alert over the Zauer 100 in 6.5 by 55 SE after 5 consumer complaints about cracks appearing in the gun barrel over time. Only in that model and in that calibre. Zauer endorses the product recall and has put a handy serial number checker on its website. Field sports groups and politicians are warning the Scottish Government that restricting muirburn could have a devastating impact. MSPs Maurice Golden and Tess White visited the Angus Glens to attend a muirburn demonstration and meet the gamekeepers and landowners to discuss the issue. They learned how Basque Scotland opposes the licensing proposed by the Wildlife Management Bill because it will affect the ability of land managers to protect the biodiversity of the country's uplands. Basque says muirburn is essential in creating fire breaks and reducing the risk of wildfires. Meanwhile, Basque is calling on shooters and field sports enthusiasts to take part in the consultation in Wales on the release of game birds. Natural Resources Wales released the online consultation at the end of last month. It details proposals to introduce a licensing system for the release of pheasants and red-legged partridge in Wales. If the proposals are implemented, game bird releasing will be restricted and only allowed under licence. Basque says it will give an anti-shooting Welsh Government the power to shut down game shooting in Wales. It has released detailed guidance to help people respond.
Not enough of us are getting involved in the policy side of things. I know it sounds onerous, but it's really important that each of us go onto the Basque website, act now, and respond to this survey. If we can give Natural Resources Wales tens of thousands of responses, they have to take that into account. If we don't, they can just say, well, they didn't take part, and the opinion is that everyone agrees with our proposals.
Natural England says beavers have returned to the waters of Somerset and Wiltshire, and it adds that unlicensed introductions and escapees are suspected to be behind the rodent's return. The government's nature advisor says as many as 50 beavers could be living in the West Country. It launched an investigation following reports of the rodent in and around the River Frome and Avon. Officially, beavers can only be reintroduced into enclosures with a licence from the government. The main problem with trophy hunting is the name trophy hunting. That's the conclusion of a new academic paper published in the journal Biodiversity and Conservation. Scientists, including Dr. Amy Dickman, argue that using the term trophy hunting obscures variation in how and why people pay to hunt and keep trophies. They urge conservation scientists and hunters, politicians, journalists and advocates on all sides to communicate more carefully about which specific hunting activities they believe are right or wrong, beneficial or harmful, acceptable or unacceptable, to whom and for what reasons. South Africa's government has revoked laws which limited which animals could be hunted. The Forestry, Fisheries and Environment Department withdrew legislation which prevented the hunting of endangered wildlife. The move is in response to appeals by the Professional Hunters Association of South Africa and Wildlife Ranching South Africa. It also scrapped incoming laws relating to the management of elephant and hunting of leopards. South Africa is home to most of the world's remaining rhinos and has key populations of elephants, lions and leopards. Hunting generates more than $270 million a year for the country. Colombia has revealed that it's going to cost $3.5 million to transfer 70 hippos, which once belonged to drug baron Pablo Escobar, to an overseas sanctuary. The cocaine baron bought a small number of the animals from Africa in the late 1980s. After his death in a shootout in 1993, the animals were left to roam freely, thrive and multiply. Now authorities plan to capture and move nearly half of the hippos in the coming months. 10 are heading to a sanctuary in northern Mexico and 60 destined for a facility in India. And finally, a swan has caused a grass fire in Norway. According to Bomlo Fire and Rescue, the swan hit a power line, caught fire and fell to the ground, causing the fire. It burned 2 acres of land. The fire department says this is the second time this has happened. Thanks to Per Holmseth for the story. You are now up to date with Fieldsports Channel News. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts.